Okay, so in their view of time, the cycle ending's always about transformation and renewal. What's interesting about this, and I'll just sort of say this as an aside because I don't really want to dwell on this too much, is that in the Maya material, you don't find an idea of apocalyptic, catastrophic end of the world in 2012, okay? This is something that you see all over the place in the media, in the Hollywood movies, and even History Channel documentaries. Like, there's something about the drama of that the modern journalism wants to focus on, but it's completely incorrect. The Maya creation myth is this amazing document, and it's part of the Maya tradition, so deeply embedded, this understanding of time and human consciousness and how it relates to astronomy. It's all embedded in the Maya creation myth. It's called the Popol Vuh, the hero twin myth. And so there's really two facets of this work. One that I've been called to elaborate and reconstruct involves the scientific aspect of the astronomical cycles that the long count is involved in tracking, and how 2012 actually targets a rare astronomical alignment. And the other aspect is the spiritual teachings. The spiritual teachings are actually connected with the astronomical cycles. Okay, so the Maya didn't make separations between these domains, scientific and spiritual. I mean, we do that in our own Western scientific paradigm. We tend to separate things and make categories, and keep things apart as if they don't ever interact. Well, that's really a very unsophisticated worldview. It's a worldview of dualisms, mind-body dualism, and subject-object dualism, sky-earth dualism. Dualism in the sense of these two domains always being disconnected and never possibly being connected. It's the Cartesian split. Descartes was the philosopher who proposed this split between the two domains. And this is a problem. This is a problem that we're still living with today in Western philosophy and Western science. And even Western religion, where you have this irreconcilable split between God and the devil, or good and bad, or mind, body, or spirit and body. And this is why I was drawn to studying the Maya tradition, is that you find in almost all of the other world religious traditions, such as the Oriental mysticism, Oriental religions, Oriental metaphysics, and many indigenous philosophies, including the Maya, is that it's non-dual. You don't have this artificial split between earth and sky. With this as the premise of the worldview, I think that a civilization that's embracing that non-dual premise has a much better chance of creating a sustainable and healthy civilization. And this just sort of gets into the whole issue that we have in our world that's been driven by this assumption of a dualistic split between the opposed domains, environmental degradation and all these other problems. One has to really exercise discernment if you're going out onto the Google sphere and looking up 2012, because frankly there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I think a good approach is to understand 2012 through what the Maya actually believed about it. So the work that I've done has been in service to clearly presenting this information. And what I've found, and you can judge for yourself, what I've found is that apparently the ancient Maya were intending 2012 to target a rare astronomical alignment. This is referred to variously as the Galactic alignment, or the solstice galaxy alignment. I like to define it as the alignment of the position of the December solstice sun with the dark rift in the Milky Way. Okay, now what is the dark rift in the Milky Way? Well, if you go out on a dark midsummer night camping in August and you look up, you're away from the light pollution of cities and you look up, you can see the Milky Way. And if you're far enough south towards the equator, like where the Maya live, you will see in the southern skies a wider part of the Milky Way with more bright stars in there, and you'll see the little sort of fishhook tail of the Scorpio constellation. And you might even be able to make out the little cross that's the crossbow of the Sagittarius constellation. And right between Sagittarius and Scorpio, you have this wider part of the Milky Way with more bright stars in there. Astronomers refer to it as the nuclear bulge. It's the galactic center. It's the central region of our Milky Way. And it can be seen with the naked eye. This strikes to the heart of a huge misconception that scientific critics wield at this work, that, oh no, we only discovered the galactic center in the 1920s with radio telescopes. Well, yeah, that's the precise scientific definition of the galactic center as some kind of abstract point of radio waves or something like that. But visually, our Milky Way is saucer-shaped, and ancient naked eye sky watchers like the Maya could see this area, and in fact they did think of it as a center and a source. And that's exactly what the galactic center really is. In the mythology of the Maya, it's seen to be the womb of the great mother Milky Way. And so there's this feature that lies along that midplane right there called the Dark Rift. It's caused by interstellar dust, and you can see it with the naked eye too. The Maya were very interested in this astronomical feature. They called it the Xibalba Bay, the road to the underworld. But the Dark Rift had a complex of other meanings associated with it. It was like the door to the other realm. It was like the portal into the heart of creation. It was the birthplace of the great Mother Milky Way deity.